Sometimes working within the spatial confines of a tiny house on wheels can be a real challenge. The solution to that challenge can also be really simple though. Make it a bit bigger. And here in Queensland, Australia, we're about to visit an exceptional tiny house that has done just that. This one is upsized and it's brilliant. Hi Cherie, how are you?
Hey, I'm great, Bryce. How are you?
Very well. It's so nice to meet you, and wow, I think this could easily be the biggest tiny house that I have ever seen in Australia.
It probably is. It's 3-bedroom and an office.
You're joking. What are the dimensions of this thing?
I think it's 10.4 by 3.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a bit wider than it's meant to be, but I wanted that extra space.
Yeah, fair enough. It's quite funny because it's quite common in New Zealand for us to see tiny homes of this size, but this is the first time I've ever seen somebody built to these dimensions in Australia.
Yeah. When I wanted to do this, I thought I'm making it comfortable, making it livable, and making it enjoyable.
Great. You're Australia's original tiny house renegade.
Yes. Absolutely.
I love that. And obviously I have so many questions about the house, but first of all, can you talk to me about your journey into tiny house living and how you came to be here?
Well, I was living in Brisbane and I had been thinking about transitioning my marriage into a friendship, and we amicably decided to part ways. But in the meantime, what I had been doing is feasting on your show, Living Big at a Tiny House, and dreaming. And part of my belief is that we are creators. We're here to dream big and create. And I have had a background of my family doing renovations. And prior to doing this project, I project managed a splitter block house. We bought a house, we moved the fence, we got a recycled house and we moved it onto the block. And I learned a lot through that process. I did a lot of the work myself with painting and all sorts of things. And I thought, you know what? Next project is going to be my dream, and that's going to be a tiny house for me and my family.
Amazing. And now here you are, and what a creation this is.
I know, it's been an interesting journey, but an amazing one.
And can you tell me about the design of your home?
Yes, so I went with a design that I saw on your show. I had a look online and I picked a design that was 3-bedroom because I really wanted to have that space for my kids. So I've got 2 children, and the design is pretty straightforward on the outside. It looks a bit boxy, but it actually has beautiful big windows to bring in the light. And I've got 2 gas strut windows that I can open up and let a lot of yummy sunshine and fresh air in. It's on a trailer with 4 axles because it is a big house.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine actually built the trailer and he over-engineered it because that's the way he is. And I was so grateful that he did that. He actually made special stands for the tiny house. Very beautiful, very strong stands. I actually found the land before I started building.
Right.
And so the tiny house was sort of designed to be part of the landscape. So I wanted to have natural materials, and my background is in natural medicine. I chose natural WeatherTex for the exterior, and my plan was to actually have this fade and blonde, and you can see it's faded in some areas, most areas, and then I was going to seal it. So there's a few areas that haven't done that, which I knew it would, but I'm even contemplating painting it at some stage. But I like the fact that it is a little bit quirky and it's not perfect, you know, it looks natural. So yeah, that's what I chose for the exterior. And the window box, we chose the Japanese shosugiban method.
Love that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to have that little bit of differentiation to blend in with the black windows that I chose.
Yeah, beautiful. And of course, it is impossible to ignore this gorgeous parking spot. It is just so peaceful here.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to move out of the suburbs and into somewhere quiet and peaceful. That's what I really wanted to create for myself and my family. And I feel when we found this beautiful slice of paradise, I just fell in love with it. And I wake up and there's butterflies, there's birds chirping, There's the odd car that goes past, but it's just so peaceful and so tranquil. And the view that I've got with all those trees sort of cuddling me, it's just awesome.
Well, I am just so intrigued and I cannot wait to see inside the home. Can we have a look?
Absolutely, let's go.
All right. This is absolutely stunning. You have poured so much style into this home.
Thank you. Well, the very first thing that I decided to buy for this tiny house was that lamp over there.
Very cool feature.
Yeah. So I sort of built the whole tiny house based on, okay, there's going to be this sort of soft, warm copper look. And so I designed it around that feel. I wanted it to feel like you were outside while you were inside, and those warm tones that made you feel welcome.
Yeah. The way that everything in here is working together so beautifully, the timber, the tiles, the gorgeous copper sink, the plants, the feature wall, this is just such a great space.
It is my happy space. I wanted to create a space where we could all just enjoy the tranquility.
Yeah.
And I feel like it has come together in a way that I'm really, really happy with.
The layout in here is really unusual as well. Can you talk to me about how all this works?
Yes, well, I wanted to have the window box. The window box was my dream so that I could sit and read my books while I'm looking at the forest. So I wanted it to be comfortable and cozy. I have done lots of renovations on boats and caravans. And so I went to my lovely tatty and tired cushion lady. She helped me get the cushions right. And, I basically designed it so that you could move freely in this kitchen space, but that you could have the interaction with the family as well. Originally, I wanted to have a table that attached to that feature wall. That didn't happen, so we went to plan B. We've got this beautiful camphor laurel top that was created by the men's shed in the local area here.
Cool.
And so the design of that is that it goes up and down so that we can access the drawers more easily. And I'm quite height challenged. So for me, living in a tiny house, it's perfect.
It sure is.
So that means that I can lower it right down when we're eating dinner, or I can move it up and use it as a bench top as well.
What a great idea. And it really is obvious to me just how much thought you've poured into making sure that all of these different spaces work so harmoniously together.
Yes, well, when you're living with a family, you need to have things functional and practical as well as looking lovely. And that's what I hope I've achieved with this design. Just down to even the stools being able to be tucked away under the table so they don't get in the way and we're not, hitting our legs every time we're trying to get into the table.
I completely agree. This floor is beautiful.
Yeah, they're cork. They're cork
cork
tiles. And the reason why I went with cork tiles is I wanted to have the thermal properties. So it's actually cool in summer, warm in the winter. They're light, they look beautiful, and they feel lovely to walk on.
Yeah, great. And this kitchen is huge.
I've been on boats and caravans, and I sort of understand that you need a little bit of space in between the two. And putting the stove opposite the sink makes it more practical going backwards and forwards.
Yeah, that sink just makes such a feature in this room, doesn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. It brings the warmth in, and it's neutral, but it has that little bit of difference.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with copper, and so that was just immediately a place that my eye was drawn to. That is quite a work of art. Beautiful bench tops as well.
My beautiful walnut timber bench tops, they are amazing. I spent a lot of money on those timber tops because I wanted to make it look special.
Yeah, and the black in the cabinetry really makes that walnut pop.
Well, I was a little bit dubious with going with black because a lot of my friends and family were saying, oh, it's going to look too small and dark. But I actually love that the black actually makes it cozy. Like when you turn on the lighting, there's this warm lighting that comes in, and yeah, I'm glad I went with the black.
Yeah. Talk to me about cooking in your kitchen.
I love it. I have been a big fan of cooking for a long time. I did some French cooking, I've done some Asian cooking, and I love being at the stove and I love creating. I haven't had a lot of time to be as creative because I've been putting the creation energy into this.
Yeah.
But I actually do love cooking, and that's why I wanted to have the oven that had the two sections so that we could put a roast on, we could put something else up the top. Yeah.
Great. And you are certainly not short of storage in here either, are you?
There is so much storage in here that we have not filled it up. And I'm glad too, because my clinic got integrated into a home office. And
Right.
so I actually have a lot of my leftover clinic stuff here as well as household stuff. So there's been a lot of clearing out, but there are still a few cupboards that haven't been filled.
Fantastic. And what's the storage you've got tucked into the corner there?
Yes, well, that's ended up being a lot of the practical living things. So that's the laundry storage, the baskets, and the broom cupboard and vacuum cleaner and things like that.
Those kind of storage nooks are so important to have in a home, and so frequently they're overlooked in the design, eh?
Absolutely.
Another thing that I can really clearly see here is you have paid a lot of attention to the lighting in this home.
Yes, I wanted to get an ambience in the room that was warm, that was inviting and not glary and bright. This is a lovely sunny place that we live, and I like low lighting, particularly at nighttime. In the morning and at nighttime, I just wanted it to be sort of comfortable and warm and friendly.
Yeah, and you have certainly achieved that here. The stair design is really cool, and I love the way that you've got the dual staircases that are beautifully framing that incredible feature window.
Yeah, the feature window is a very special addition. I wanted to have a space that I could look out to with this amazing bit of land that we're on. And the stairs have to be very functional. So I wanted storage built into them. And I did want to have the lighting to, sort of make it easier to go up and down, but also makes it look lovely as well.
It certainly does. And I'm guessing through that door there we've got your bathroom. Can we take a look at that?
Yes, let's go.
All right. This is great. Quite an unusual shape, this bathroom, isn't it?
It is an unusual shape. I wanted to tuck the shower away so that it wasn't in the way. And I wanted to make use of the space. So upstairs is impinging on the height of the ceiling here. So we tried to make use of the space that we did have. And we angled the wall because the design was going to come out in a square. And so we decided that for space and ease of use, we'll actually shave off a bit of the wall.
What a great idea. I like the way you've done the shower here as well. It's quite an interesting design and very interesting choice of materials.
Yeah, I wanted to use the black, but I wanted to have a contrast. So I ended up going with something that was light. So we've used a sort of like a laminate bathroom covering that's waterproof. And it's become really functional. I'm actually really happy with the outcome.
Yeah, great. And you've built the laundry in here as well?
Yes, the stairs have come in really handy for hiding away the back of the appliances. And I definitely wanted to have a dryer because we do get a lot of wet here, and with kids you actually need to get clothes dry. So it's actually really practical. I don't have a heap of storage, so I've got that little drawer down there for a few odds and ends, but it actually works really well. So the functionality of putting a load of washing on and getting everything out for that is quite easy.
Yeah, fantastic. Really nice use of mirrors in this room as well.
Yeah, well, mirrors actually bring this sense of space. And when they weren't there, this actually looked quite pokey. But as soon as the mirrors went in, it was like, this is so great. It sort of doubled the space in here.
Yeah, fantastic. And a lovely vanity too, again with the copper sink.
Yeah, well, when you're using different tapware, you've actually got to have it all matching. And I wanted to flow on with that copper look throughout the house.
Yeah.
And so when I chose the tapware, I wanted a sink that would go with that. And because the laundry is in here, I also wanted a sink that was a little bit deeper and more practical. So I've actually got a tap that can be stretched out and rinse things off and put buckets in there if I need to.
Brilliant. And you've got the dual entrance here as well. What's through that door?
Through this door is my son's room and also the spare room. So I have a lot of friends and family come to stay because I live in a beautiful part of the world, and they always want to come and visit.
Right, because your son only lives with you part-time.
Yes, he lives 4 minutes up the road with his dad, and he loves his big, giant bedroom, and he comes to visit a lot, and my daughter lives here with me upstairs.
Fantastic. And in keeping with the theme of a giant tiny house, upstairs you've got 2 bedrooms and an office, don't you?
We do.
Can we have a look at all that?
Let's go and have a look.
Let's go. This is such a cool design. What I really love about this is just immediately I can see how perfectly proportioned this loft is for you.
Absolutely. Tiny houses are made for me.
It certainly is. Not so much for me, this one.
I thought you might get away with it, but no, we haven't made it for you. Sorry,
Not
we've made it for me.
And the layout up here is really great as well. It's nice that you've got such a brilliant separation between your bedroom and your office.
Yes, well, I do a lot of work at night time, and so I wanted to have a space that was connected to my restful space, that I didn't disturb others in the house, and I can sit up here as late at night as I need to and then chip off to bed.
Yeah, and it's quite nice that you have created this almost like private suite for yourself within the tiny house.
Yes, it's my creation, so I wanted to create something that I was happy to hang in.
It's nice the way you've got the different layers in here as well, the different heights.
As you know, the seat that you're sitting on is the entranceway to my son's room, so he has a bit of headspace. So we've actually made that into a seat, and the seat can lift up and actually have somebody sleep on it. And I didn't want to have a bedroom that I was continually crouching in, so I needed to have somewhere where I could stand up comfortably, get dressed, access my clothing, all that sort of stuff. So we actually did the split level, which works really, really well.
It certainly did. And up here it feels a bit like a sanctuary space as well. I especially like the textured walls and everything that you've done in here with the lighting as well.
Yes, so I wanted to make it comfortable and a little bit luxurious, and I still wanted to have that theme of neutrality with the colours, but I wanted to make sure that I was comfortable in it and that it was relaxing, and it works.
It certainly does. You've achieved that so well. I like how you've created this office in such a nice simple way as well. You've got the beautiful bench top there as a desk, and then you've got the single large bookshelf up here. It's all very clean and very tidy, and it sort of is one of those spaces that almost looks like it's encouraging you to be productive.
Yes, well, I have a lot of books. I've actually had to reduce a lot of my books moving in here, and I wanted to make sure that I had an easy access because I like to reference a lot of things for my work. Along the windowsill there, I actually have a friend who's German, and she does that all throughout her house, and I thought that's such a great idea to actually make those windowsills functional, and you can put a few little things. So it flows really nicely, and I can sit down and relax and read a book or watch something, and I can sit there and get my work done, and no disturbances.
And up the other staircase is your daughter's loft.
Yes, she's got her own beautiful private space as well.
Cool. Tell me about that.
Well, she got the biggest room in the house. My room's still good, but I have this extra space here, so I feel very lucky. She's also lucky because she has 4 windows, she has lots of fresh air, and she loves her little room.
Brilliant. And so how long have you been living in the tiny house now?
A little bit over a year.
And how's it all working out for you?
Amazing. I am the luckiest lady in the world. I have my own slice of paradise. I feel like I have landed in heaven. This home means that my dream has turned into a creation, and this creation has been anchored here, and I get to enjoy it with my family and with my friends every day. It gave me a focus, and it allowed me to create a space that was truly mine, and that I could make all the decisions and flavor it to my way of doing things. And it's a treat to be able to wake up and say, wow, I did this, I created this.
You've obviously put so much thought and attention to detail into the design of this home. Is there anything now, having lived in the home for a while, that you would change about your design?
I am okay with the dining room. Sometimes it's a little hard to get in and out. Like once you're in and you've forgotten something, you've got to crawl back out again. So I don't know, maybe I would rethink that. But at the end of the day, it works most of the time. The table goes up and down. We've got stools for visitors. So I feel like it's functional enough But, you know, it was a hard space to sort of think of what to do. So I'm happy with the result.
Yeah. This is a big, tiny house, and you have obviously spared no expense with the way that you have fitted this out as well. Do I dare ask about the cost of this home?
So I did have a budget, and the budget was over 100, and I well and truly went beyond that. And when I went beyond that, I sort of stopped tracking what I was spending because the materials had got so more expensive. I did some of the labor myself, and my son helped build this house. My daughter helped with some of the painting and things like that. So it was a family effort to save on costs, but actually was a budget blower.
I'm sure it was. Do you have even a ballpark estimate of where you think you ended up?
Probably about 200,000.
To be honest, for a home this size and with this level of quality, 200,000 is actually a remarkable budget.
It really was a family effort.
Yeah, wow. And with the home now complete, what does the future hold for you?
Well, the next stage is outside. So I would love to get a deck, a covered deck actually, and work on the gardens and get more food growing.
Beautiful. Well, Cherie, you have done such a wonderful job with this home. It is huge, and you have used every square inch of this home beautifully. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thanks, Bryce. Thanks for coming. It's a real pleasure.
Great to be here. Cherie has crafted such an exceptional home for her and her family here. You can truly see just how much attention to detail has been poured into each and every aspect of this home. Yes, it is a big, tiny home, but it's also a big, tiny home that is doing a tremendous amount. And ultimately though, beyond all of that, I can really just connect with the amount of love that Cherie has poured into this space for her family. It really is very special.